Captain Alara Kane stood on the bridge of the human flagship Valor, staring at the endless stretch of stars ahead. Space, vast and silent, seemed calm, but she knew calmness was only a thin veil over danger. Beyond the charts and known territories lay the Forbidden Zone, a region marked by alien empires as untouchable. Humanity had never crossed it, and for centuries the one rule had kept explorers away. Never provoke humanity. No, she corrected herself. The one rule was the galaxy's warning to others about humans. But today Alara would test it. The distress signal had come 3 hours earlier. A human colony ship, Aurora, had been caught in an energy storm near the edge of the Forbidden Zone. Its communication systems were failing, and its oxygen reserves were dwindling. The council debated, the military argued, the alien ambassadors protested. Every voice said the same thing: do not cross the boundary. Do not risk provoking the alien coalition. But Alara saw the faces of the colonists on her holographic screen: families, children, scientists, and workers. They had done nothing wrong. Humanity had sent them to the stars, and now they were trapped, their lives hanging by a fragile thread. Set course for the Forbidden Zone, she ordered, her voice steady. The bridge went quiet. First Officer Joran Malik raised an eyebrow, a mixture of concern and admiration on his face.
Captain,
you understand the consequences, don't you? The Coalition has fleets in that sector. They won't hesitate to destroy us. Alara nodded. I understand. But I also understand that leaving our people to die is not an option. Humanity has never backed down from a challenge, and we won't start now. The crew exchanged nervous glances, but no one questioned her further. Humans were trained to follow orders, yes, but they also understood courage when they saw it. Courage was part of their nature. As Valor slipped past the last known checkpoint and entered the Forbidden Region, the sensors lit up with strange readings. Massive energy fields twisted through space like invisible threads. Debris from ancient ships floated silently, frozen in time. Alara's stomach tightened. She had expected danger, but this was beyond imagination. Captain, said Science Officer Lyra Chen, pointing at a screen. We're detecting structures. Ruins, maybe, but they aren't human. And these readings, the energy here is unlike anything we've seen before. Alara leaned forward. Can we navigate through it safely? Lyra shook her head. Safely, not really. But if we adjust the shields and take it slow, we might just make it through. Alara smiled faintly. Then slow it is. Prepare the crew. We're going in. Hours passed as Valor weaved through the alien ruins. The ship's hull groaned under pressure from fluctuating energy waves. The crew worked tirelessly, recalibrating shields, monitoring engines, and plotting courses. Outside, stars seemed to stretch and twist, distorted by the mysterious forces. In the midst of the tension, small signs of life appeared. Floating drones, remnants of some long-lost civilization, sparked occasionally. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the ruins, as if the galaxy itself was whispering secrets. Joran spoke quietly, almost to himself. It feels like walking through history, a history that wasn't meant for us, Alara nodded. And yet here we are. That's what humans do, Joran. We step where others fear to go. We face what others cannot. Hours later, the distress signal led them to a small asteroid field. There, trapped between rocks and energy storms, floated the Aurora. Its hull was scorched, and its emergency lights flickered weakly. Alara felt a surge of relief and fear at the same time. Relief, because they found it. Fear because the alien fleet could arrive at any moment. Prepare a rescue team, Alara ordered. I want every colonist evacuated safely. Joran, you lead it. Lyra, maintain shield stability. The crew worked like a well-oiled machine. Humans were remarkable in moments of crisis. Drones navigated asteroid gaps. Magnetic grapples anchored the shuttles, and the Valor's shields protected the delicate rescue operations. As the first group of colonists boarded the Valor, Alara noticed something disturbing. Among the humans were scientists pointing at small glowing artifacts scattered across the Aurora's decks. Leave them, she called. We cannot carry unknown objects. A young scientist hesitated.
Captain,
these might be advanced technology. If we leave them, they could be lost forever. Alara clenched her jaw. I understand curiosity, but right now survival comes first. We can study them later. Slowly, the evacuation completed. Every colonist was accounted for, and the Valor prepared to leave. But just as the last shuttle returned, the sensors detected movement. "Captain, incoming fleet," shouted the tactical officer. Ilara's stomach sank. Alien warships, sleek and black, appeared from the shadows of the ruins. Their formation was perfect, their weapons charged, and their intention clear. Humanity had crossed a line. "Open communication," Ilara ordered, her fingers flying over the console. "This is Captain Ilara Kane of the Human Empire. We mean no harm. We are evacuating our citizens. Please allow us safe passage." The response was immediate and harsh. Alien voices, cold and mechanical, echoed in the bridge speakers. "Humans, you have broken the one rule. Prepare to face consequences." Ilara felt a shiver run down her spine. The one rule was not just a warning. It was a law of the galaxy. And now they had broken it. Joran stepped forward.
Captain,
"What do we do?" Ilara's eyes narrowed. "We survive. We protect our people, and we show them that humans are not to be underestimated." The first salvo of energy blasts struck Valor. The shields flared, holding for now, but the crew felt the tremor. Alarms rang, red lights flashed, and smoke hissed from damaged consoles. "Return fire," Ilara commanded. "Target their engines, not their weapons." The bridge erupted into controlled chaos. Humans moved with precision, dodging blasts, firing countermeasures, and exploiting gaps in the alien formation. Every move was calculated, every risk intentional. Humans had no choice but to be bold. Amid the battle, Ilara saw something remarkable. The aliens, despite their superior numbers and technology, were confused. Their formation faltered as humans made unpredictable maneuvers. One ship, smaller but faster, weaved between blasts and struck an enemy vessel's engine core, causing a small chain reaction. Lyra whispered, awed. They're improvising." They didn't expect this, Ilara didn't answer. She knew this was humanity's strength. Courage, creativity, and the ability to make quick decisions under pressure. Where others relied on orders and predictability, humans thrived in chaos. Minutes stretched like hours. The Valor sustained damage, but it held. The aliens, frustrated and cautious, began to retreat, giving the humans space to move. Ilara seized the opportunity, set course for safe space, shields to maximum. "We're leaving this zone before they regroup." As the ship accelerated, Ilara took a moment to look back at the ruins, at the dangerous and beautiful space they had just navigated. Humanity had survived, but the cost of their decision was clear. The galaxy would not forget this violation. The one rule had been broken and consequences would follow. "Captain," Joran said quietly, "the Coalition, they'll be coming after us." "This is only the beginning," Ilara nodded. "I know, but so is humanity. And they will learn. They will learn that we fight, we survive, and we never give up." The stars stretched ahead, endless and full of unknowns. Humanity had stepped into the forbidden, and the galaxy had taken notice. The story of courage, survival, and human ingenuity had begun, and the flames of destiny were already lighting the path ahead. The human fleet emerged from the twisted energy fields of the Forbidden Zone, battered but alive. The Valor led the way, its hull scorched, yet its engines strong. Captain Ilara Kane watched the stars stretch ahead, knowing the reprieve would be brief. The alien coalition would not forget humanity's audacity. They would come. On the bridge, First Officer Joran Malik studied the incoming data. "Captain, coalition fleets are converging. Their numbers. It's massive. They're faster than anything we've faced before." Ilara's eyes narrowed. "Numbers don't win wars. Humans do." The crew exchanged determined glances. That phrase was more than motivation. It was truth. Time and again, humans had turned impossible odds into survival. They had ingenuity, courage, and the willingness to act when others hesitated. Meanwhile, far across the galaxy, alien leaders convened. The Coalition Council, representing dozens of advanced species, met in a massive orbital station. Screens displayed the humans' movements, their fleet smaller but aggressive. Ambassador Tyvran, a towering reptilian diplomat, slammed his clawed hand on the council table. "They have broken the one rule," Tyvran roared. "They dare to step where no species may tread. They have no respect for law, order, or our authority." A smaller, softer-spoken delegate, a species of translucent, jelly-like beings, spoke calmly. "We must consider, perhaps humans are not just reckless. They may possess qualities we do not understand. Speed of thought, unpredictability. Resilience, Tivern hissed. Resilience is irrelevant. They are weak compared to us. Our fleets will crush them, the council voted. War was inevitable. Humanity had provoked a force unlike anything in their history, and the galaxy prepared for battle. Back on the Valor, Ilara's crew prepared for the first confrontation. The Aurora colonists were safe, but they were now witnesses to the looming storm. Engineers strengthened shields, weapons officers calibrated plasma cannons, and tactical analysts studied alien fleet movements. Joren spoke quietly to Ilara. "Captain, we're outnumbered. They have superior firepower. If we fight head-on, we won't survive." Ilara leaned against the console, eyes fixed on the viewscreen. "Then we don't fight head-on. Humans have survived countless wars because we adapt, we think, and we act faster than others expect. That is our advantage." The first clash came suddenly. Alien scouts, sleek ships with black armor, darted from the shadows of a nearby star system. They fired warning shots, bright beams that danced across space. Valor's shields flared, absorbing the energy, but the message was clear. Humanity had no choice but to engage. "Prepare evasive maneuvers," Ilara commanded. "Keep the colonists safe and confuse them. Do not let them predict us." Human ships moved in unexpected patterns, zigzagging and weaving, sometimes splitting into smaller groups, sometimes grouping tightly to maximize defensive fire. The aliens fired relentlessly, but their precision faltered. They were powerful, yes, but they were trained to fight predictable opponents. Humans were not predictable. A young pilot, Lieutenant Mirasol, dodged a blast narrowly. "Captain, they're faster than our simulations." "We need to think differently." Ilara smiled. "Exactly. Think differently. That's how humans survive." The battle escalated. Alien warships tried to flank the human fleet, but Ilara anticipated their moves. Using sensors and raw intuition, humans exploited gaps in the enemy formation. One small human frigate, equipped with a modified propulsion system, darted between two larger alien ships, disabling one with a precise plasma strike. Science officer Lyra Chen observed the chaos, noting every anomaly. "Captain, they are rigid in their tactics. They can't adapt to irregular movements. If we continue to use unpredictability, we can survive this." Ilara nodded. "Then we will. Human ingenuity is our shield as much as any technology." As the fight continued, Ilara noticed a strange pattern in the alien energy signatures. "Lyra, are those hesitations?" "They're not moving as a single force. Some of them are hesitant, maybe unsure. Can we exploit that?" Lyra studied the data. "Yes, Captain. A few species in their coalition are not fully aligned with Tivran's war plans. They might be swayed if we demonstrate strength coupled with restraint." Ilara made a decision. "Then we show them who we are. They're strong but not reckless. We protect our people, but we do not destroy unless necessary." The humans pressed their advantage. They targeted engines and systems that would disable ships without unnecessary casualties. One alien cruiser attempted to ram a human transport, but with precise maneuvering, the Valor avoided the collision and disabled the cruiser's engines. Colonists watching from the safety of the Valor's observation deck whispered in awe. Humans were fearless, yes, but clever too. Children clutched their parents' hands, seeing a species fighting not just for victory, but for survival and honor. Hours passed. The battle reached a critical point. Alien reinforcements arrived, larger and faster than the scouts. Ilara knew she could not outgun them. She needed strategy, not strength. "Set a trap," she ordered. "Draw them into the asteroid belt. Their size will slow them, and we can use the terrain to our advantage." The fleet followed her lead, retreating carefully toward a dense asteroid field. Alien ships pursued, overconfident in their numbers. When they entered the belt, human ingenuity turned the tides. Magnetic fields pulled small asteroids into alien paths, forcing collisions. Energy blasts reflected unpredictably off rocky surfaces. Human ships struck from unexpected angles, exploiting blind spots. A massive alien battleship tried to target the Valor, but Joren, piloting a smaller escort, intercepted with a daring maneuver, forcing the enemy to retreat. From the bridge, Ilara watched with pride. Humanity survives not because of weapons alone, but because we think differently. We adapt. We fight with our minds as much as our courage. The battle ended with alien ships retreating in disarray. Many were damaged, some destroyed, but the humans had survived. Humanity's ingenuity had won again. Back on the Valor, engineers repaired damaged systems, medics cared for minor injuries, and the crew reflected on the fight. The colonists cheered softly, inspired by the bravery and skill they had witnessed. Humans were not invincible, but they were remarkable. Alara addressed the crew. Today we faced the impossible and survived. But this is only the beginning. The Coalition will not forget. They will return, stronger and smarter. And we must be ready, always ready. Joran nodded. Captain, the galaxy is beginning to notice humanity. They fear us. And maybe they should. Alara smiled faintly. They should. But more than fear, they will learn respect. And one day, they will understand what it truly means to face a human. As the fleet set course for safe territory, news of the clash began to spread. Across human colonies, people cheered and celebrated. The story of bravery and ingenuity traveled faster than light, inspiring hope. Humanity had not just survived. They had proven that even against impossible odds, they were a force to be reckoned with. Yet Alara knew that the victory was temporary. The Coalition would return, more united and more determined. Humanity had made an enemy, one powerful enough to threaten entire worlds. But she also knew the truth that burned inside her. Humans thrived where others hesitated, adapted where others failed, and fought with courage that no machine or tactic could match. And so, the sparks of war had been lit. The galaxy watched as humans moved boldly forward, proving that breaking the one rule had consequences, but also showing that humanity, in all its ingenuity and courage, could survive and thrive against any threat. The stars stretched ahead, endless and full of challenges. Humanity was ready. The galaxy had grown restless. The clash in the Forbidden Zone was not just a battle, it was a statement. Humanity had stepped where no one dared, and the alien coalition had learned something it had not expected. Humans were not predictable. They were clever, resilient, and willing to face impossible odds to protect their own. Captain Alara Kane stood on the bridge of the Valor, studying the latest reports. Intelligence confirms that the Coalition fleets are regrouping, she said. They are repairing damaged ships and gathering reinforcements. They think they can overwhelm us next time. First Officer Joran Malik leaned over her console. Captain, they are stronger now. If we engage directly, we might not survive. Alara's eyes narrowed, determination burning. Then we do not engage directly. Humans win by using their brains as much as their weapons. We find weakness and strike smartly, not blindly. The plan was audacious. Humanity would take the fight to enemy territory. It was dangerous, perhaps the most dangerous move ever attempted, but it had a purpose. By targeting supply routes, communication hubs, and strategic outposts, the humans could weaken the Coalition's ability to coordinate, giving themselves the advantage of mobility and surprise. The first mission led them to a distant star system where an alien supply hub floated silently. The hub was heavily guarded with automated turrets and a fleet of small defense ships. Most species would have avoided it, but humans thrived on challenge. Lyra analyzed the hub's defense patterns, Alara ordered. I want every weak point identified. Lyra Chen's fingers danced across the console. Captain, their turrets are impressive, but they are predictable. They follow programmed arcs and respond slowly to sudden movements. If we distract them, we can get close enough to disable the core systems without unnecessary destruction. Alara nodded. Prepare the strike teams. Let's move. As the human fleet approached, the alien sensors detected movement. Warning signals flashed across their displays. But the humans moved differently than any enemy had expected. Instead of a direct approach, they split into smaller groups, weaving between asteroid belts and moon fragments. Their ships moved erratically, yet with precision, exploiting every angle of defense. Lieutenant Mira Sol, piloting one of the smaller ships, maneuvered through tight gaps in asteroid fields, firing plasma pulses at turret generators. Each shot was calculated, precise, and relentless. Other teams hacked into communication relays, sending false signals that made the defenders hesitate. Within hours, the hub was disabled. Supplies meant to reinforce Coalition fleets were now stranded, and the humans had achieved their goal without unnecessary bloodshed. The aliens, frustrated and confused, realized that they were facing an enemy who fought not just with weapons, but with thought, intuition, and imagination. Back on the Valor, the crew celebrated quietly. Victory was small but significant. Each success chipped away at the Coalition's confidence and sowed doubt among its ranks. Ilara addressed her crew. Today we have shown that humans are not just survivors. We are thinkers, planners, and protectors. We use our minds as effectively as our courage, and that is why we are different. That is why we endure. But not all humans were comfortable with the aggressive tactics. Some crew members questioned the morality of striking into enemy territory, even if it was for survival. Dr. Anya Patel, Chief Medical Officer, approached Ilara quietly. "Captain," she said softly, "we are causing damage even if we avoid casualties. Are we doing the right thing?" Ilara placed a hand on her shoulder. "Anya, every species in the galaxy fights for survival. We are not seeking revenge or conquest. We are ensuring that humans and our colonies live. That is our right. That is our duty." The next weeks were a flurry of missions. Human strike teams moved like shadows across enemy space, sabotaging supply lines, intercepting communication, and gathering intelligence. Each mission revealed something remarkable about the humans: their ability to adapt, to improvise, to turn limitations into advantages. In one encounter, a small human scouting team discovered a massive alien battleship, far larger and more powerful than any human vessel. Instead of attacking directly, the team observed, studying its movements. They discovered that the battleship's AI relied heavily on repetitive patterns. Using this knowledge, humans laid a simple but effective trap, forcing the battleship into a minefield of floating debris, disabling it without a direct fight. "Humans are unpredictable," Lyra said quietly, awed. "They are defeating strategy with creativity," Ilara smiled. "Exactly. That is humanity's greatest weapon. Not firepower, not technology, but our minds and our courage. We survive because we adapt faster than any machine, any program, any rigid enemy plan." But the Coalition was learning. Alien commanders studied human tactics, trying to predict the unpredictable. They deployed spies, altered fleet formations, and reinforced key outposts. They sought to test humanity's resolve, to find weakness in a species that had shown remarkable ingenuity. Even so, humans continued to succeed. Each small victory built momentum. Colonists began sharing tales of human audacity, spreading hope and pride throughout the empire. Stories of daring maneuvers, clever strategies, and survival against impossible odds inspired young recruits and seasoned veterans alike. Humanity was becoming legendary, yet Ilara knew the war was far from over. The Coalition was vast, its resources seemingly endless, and it would not tolerate continued disruption. Humans had shown strength and cunning, but the true test had yet to come. One day, intelligence reports revealed a fractured alliance within the Coalition itself. Some species whispered that humanity's audacity was not reckless but admirable. They questioned Tivran's rigid leadership and debated whether humans could be allies rather than enemies. Joran Malik studied the reports. "Captain, some of their species, they might support us if we demonstrate diplomacy, or at least restraint." Ilara considered this. "Perhaps. But we must always be ready. Strength and strategy first, diplomacy second. Humans earn respect by proving themselves, not by asking for it." The next engagement tested that philosophy. A Coalition outpost threatened a nearby human colony. The human fleet arrived not with full force but with precision. Strike teams disabled weapons, severed communication, and evacuated civilians efficiently. The humans caused minimal damage, yet the message was clear. Humanity defends its own and will act decisively when necessary. Witnessing this, some alien factions began to reconsider. The translucent jelly-like beings who had voiced caution earlier now observed humans with a mixture of fear and respect. They saw a species capable of morality, intelligence, and courage in equal measure, qualities rare across the stars. Despite these small diplomatic openings, Tivran and other rigid leaders remained hostile. Humanity had defied the one rule, and that defiance had consequences. Alien fleets regrouped, preparing for larger-scale assaults. But humans, guided by ingenuity and courage, continued to strike strategically, each success reinforcing the legend of their resilience. Ilara stood on the Valor's observation deck, looking at the stars. "Joran, humanity is changing this war, not with brute force but with determination and cleverness. We are showing the galaxy that we cannot be ignored." Joran nodded. "And yet, Captain, the Coalition will adapt. They will strike back harder, We must be ready for anything. Ilara's gaze hardened. We are always ready. Humans survive because we never give up. Every challenge, every enemy, every impossible situation is an opportunity to prove who we are. As the Valor moved through the galaxy, leaving disabled outposts and disrupted fleets behind, the crew understood something profound. Humanity was more than a species. It was a force of innovation, courage, and moral conviction. The Coalition had underestimated them once, and that mistake would shape the battles to come. The flames of defiance had been lit. Humans were no longer merely surviving. They were shaping the war, bending the galaxy's expectations, and showing that intelligence, creativity, and bravery were as deadly as any weapon. In every colony, on every ship, and in every heart, humans carried the same lesson. They were resilient, adaptable, and unstoppable when united, and as the galaxy watched, they would soon learn that the one rule had been broken and the consequences would burn bright. The human fleet glided through the dark expanse of space, each ship scarred from previous encounters but brimming with determination. Captain Ilara Kane stood on the bridge of the Valor, watching her crew move with the quiet confidence of those who had faced impossible odds and survived. The galaxy had underestimated humanity once, and she was determined to make sure it never happened again. Intelligence reports indicated that the Alien Coalition's command center was located deep within their territory, a fortress of steel and energy shields, guarded by fleets larger and more advanced than any humans had faced. To strike it directly would be suicidal. But Ilara had learned over countless missions that humans thrived on audacity and creativity. Where others saw obstacles, humans saw opportunity. "Captain," First Officer Joran Malik said, pointing at the tactical display, "their patrols are intense, but we've detected gaps in their formation near the outer defense ring. If we time it right, we could slip through undetected." Ilara nodded. "Good, Lyra, run simulations. Find the fastest, safest route to their command hub without alerting their primary fleet. Every second counts." Science Officer Lyra Chen's fingers flew over the console, calculating trajectories, energy signatures, and probabilities. "It's risky, Captain. Even a single misstep could expose us to their entire fleet. But there's a path. It's narrow, but it's there." Ilara's lips curved into a faint smile. "Risky is what humans do best. Prepare the strike teams. Tonight we show the galaxy what humanity is capable of." As the fleet moved into the alien heart space, tension gripped every human aboard, yet there was no fear that paralyzed them. Humans had faced overwhelming odds before, and each time they had survived through ingenuity, courage, and quick thinking. The first challenge came sooner than expected. A massive energy barrier stretched across the path to the command hub, pulsating with lethal power. Alien patrol ships moved alongside it, scanning for intruders. "Captain, the barrier's frequency fluctuates in a predictable pattern," Lyra observed. "If we time it precisely, we can slip through without detection." Ilara's eyes shone with resolve. "Then we time it. Ready all shuttles. Stick to the plan, but stay flexible. Humans survive by adapting." The fleet advanced cautiously. Each ship waited for the perfect moment, then darted through the barrier as if dancing with danger. Energy pulses sang past them, missing by mere meters, yet humanity's calculations were flawless. Even the alien patrols, with all their technology, could not respond quickly enough. Once past the barrier, the human fleet spread into coordinated groups. One team would disable communication networks, another would target power generators, and a third would draw attention away from the main strike force. Every move was precise, efficient, and calculated to minimize casualties. Ilara's heart pounded as the Valor approached the central command hub. The alien defenses were massive, yet humans did what no one expected. They attacked with creativity, not brute force. Small drones infiltrated shield generators, while specialized hacking teams disrupted targeting systems. Missiles were deployed not for destruction alone, but to manipulate the enemy's movements, creating confusion among even the most disciplined alien forces. "Captain," Joran said, awe in his voice, "they've never seen tactics like this. Their formations are breaking apart." Ilara nodded. "Exactly. Humanity fights with more than weapons. We use strategy, intuition, and creativity. That is why we survive." The alien command center tried to respond. Massive ships moved to intercept the humans. Energy beams flared and alarms rang across every deck. But the humans, anticipating their moves, stayed one step ahead. Small teams disabled engine cores and navigation systems, leaving larger ships vulnerable and confused. Meanwhile, within the alien coalition, dissent was growing. Some species had begun to question Tyvran's leadership. These humans, they are not reckless, one delegate whispered. They are intelligent. They fight with honor and strategy. Perhaps we have underestimated them. But Tyvran remained adamant. They are intruders. They have broken the one rule. We will crush them no matter the cost. Back on the Valor, Ilara observed a critical moment unfolding. The command hub's central energy core was exposed but heavily guarded. A direct strike would be catastrophic. Instead, she called for an unconventional approach. Lyra, calculate the impact of a decoy diversion. If we lure their main fleet away even for a minute, we can disable the core with minimal risk. Lyra's fingers flew across the console. It's possible, Captain. Timing will be everything. The plan unfolded flawlessly. Smaller ships created illusions of a human attack fleet approaching from multiple angles. Alien defenses scrambled, responding to threats that did not exist. In the confusion, Ilara's strike team approached the core undetected. With precision, they deployed an energy disruptor, destabilizing the hub's power system. Lights flickered across the alien command center. Alarms wailed and the entire fleet hesitated. Within minutes, systems failed, communications cut, and the alien defense grid collapsed. Ilara allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had done what no one thought possible. They had struck the heart of the coalition not through sheer force but through intelligence, courage, and creativity. Jaren turned to her, astonished. Captain, they've never seen humans operate like this. They don't know how to respond. Ilara's eyes were steady. Then let them watch. Let them understand that humanity is not just a species. We are a force. We survive, we adapt, and we fight with every tool we have. Brains, courage, and unity. As the alien command hub fell silent, the ripple effect spread across the coalition. Fleets retreated, orders were delayed, and confusion reigned. Even Tyvran's loyalists found themselves questioning the strategy of their leadership. Humans had shown that rigid systems could not defeat a species capable of innovation, adaptation, and daring bravery. Back on the Valor, the crew celebrated cautiously. They had won a decisive victory, but they knew the war was far from over. The coalition remained vast and powerful, but the turning tide had shifted. Humanity had proven that they were more than a threat. They were unstoppable when united and determined. Captain Ilara Kane addressed the fleet. Today we have changed the course of this war. Not with brute strength alone, but with intelligence, courage, and resolve. We have shown that humans do not follow the expected pathway, we create our own, and that is why the galaxy must respect us. As humans returned to safe space, whispers spread through the alien coalition. Some species, inspired by humanity's ingenuity and honor, began to consider alliances or at least neutrality. They realized that humans were not merely defiant. They were exceptional. Yet Tyvran remained determined. Humanity had broken the one rule, and consequences were still coming. But for the first time, even the most hostile leaders began to recognize that humans were not just another species. They were unique, unpredictable, clever, and fearless in the face of impossible odds. Ilara stood on the observation deck, gazing at the stars. Joran, she said quietly, the galaxy is starting to see us. They see what we can do. But our work is not finished. Humanity will continue to rise, continue to adapt, and continue to protect those who cannot defend themselves. Joran nodded. Captain, the humans are legendary now. But do you think they truly understand what we are capable of? Ilara's gaze hardened, determination etched into her features. They will. And when they do, the galaxy will know that underestimating humanity was the greatest mistake any species could make. The stars stretched endlessly before them. Humanity had struck deep into enemy territory, proving that courage, intelligence, and creativity were more powerful than numbers or technology alone. The tide of the war had turned and the galaxy had been forced to take notice. Humanity had survived the impossible once again. And now the flames of defiance burned brighter than ever, signaling that humans would not only endure, they would shape the destiny of the stars. The galaxy was changing. Humanity had defied the one rule, and the ripple of their courage spread across countless star systems. Captain Ilara Kane stood on the bridge of the Valor, gazing at the stars, knowing that the final confrontation with the alien coalition was approaching. The stakes had never been higher. The coalition had regrouped, larger and angrier than ever. Their fleets now moved with precision and purpose, determined to crush the humans who had dared challenge them. Entire systems had been mobilized, and Tivran himself commanded the most advanced ships in the galaxy. The humans were outnumbered, outgunned, yet not defeated. Not yet. "Captain," First Officer Joran Malik said, his voice tense. "They are assembling near the Andralis sector. Their numbers. It's overwhelming. If we attack, we may not survive." Ilara's eyes were steady. "Then we do not attack blindly. Humanity wins through courage, strategy, and unity. We fight smart. We fight as humans always have, with our minds and our hearts." The fleet prepared meticulously. Every human ship, from the smallest scout to the massive Valor, was repaired, upgraded, and equipped for precision strikes. Scientists worked tirelessly to modify captured alien technology into weapons that humans could wield with maximum effect. Engineers calibrated shields to withstand energy weapons far beyond anything previously encountered. Humans did not despair at being outnumbered. Instead, they innovated, as they always did. As they approached the Andralis sector, scouts reported massive alien formations. Ships stretched across the void, their weapons ready, their intentions clear. Annihilate humanity. Ilara took a deep breath. "Joran, initiate the plan." "Stick to the strategy. Our goal is to disable their command fleet. Once that falls, the rest will scatter." The humans advanced with precision. Using decoys, hacking drones, and unpredictable maneuvers, they slipped past outer defenses. Energy beams cut across the void, but human ingenuity turned even danger into advantage. Small ships darted between massive cruisers, disabling engines and communication relays without exposing themselves to unnecessary risk. In the midst of the chaos, Ilara's team executed the most daring move yet. Using captured alien stealth technology, a strike group infiltrated the heart of the Coalition fleet, approaching Tivran's flagship undetected. "Captain," Joran said in awe, "they have no idea we are here." Ilara's eyes narrowed. "Then we make them see. Humanity does not bow to fear. We face the impossible and show them who we are." The strike team deployed energy disruptors directly onto Tivran's flagship. Systems flickered and failed. Shields collapsed. The massive ship, once a symbol of alien dominance, was now vulnerable. Energy beams misfired, fleet formations faltered, and confusion spread like wildfire. Tivran's voice echoed across the communication channels, furious and uncomprehending. "Humans, impossible. How can you defy all logic?" Ilara stepped forward, calm and resolute. "We are humans. We survive, we adapt, and we fight with courage and intelligence. That is who we are. That is why the galaxy must respect us." The collapse of Tivran's flagship created chaos among the Coalition. Ships scrambled to regain control, but humans had anticipated this. Strike teams exploited gaps, neutralizing key vessels while minimizing casualties. The Coalition fleet, once a symbol of fear and control, began to break apart. Back on the Valor, the crew watched with awe and determination. Humanity had done the impossible. They had turned the tide of war not by sheer force, but by intelligence, courage, and unity. Each victory had been deliberate, calculated, and effective. Amid the battle, whispers spread through the alien ranks. Some species, inspired by humanity's ingenuity and honor, began to reconsider the war. They saw that humans fought with morality, intelligence, and determination, qualities rare across the galaxy. Slowly, factions began to break away, seeking alliances or neutrality rather than destruction. Even Tivran, furious and desperate, realized that brute force alone could not defeat humans. He had underestimated a species whose ingenuity and courage could not be measured by numbers or weapons. With the Coalition fractured, humanity pressed the advantage. Systems once controlled by the aliens were liberated. Colonies previously under threat were defended. Supply routes were reopened. Humans moved not just as warriors, but as protectors, ensuring that the cost of victory did not become unnecessary destruction. Ilara addressed her fleet, her voice clear across the intercom. "Today we have shown the galaxy that humans are not merely survivors. We are thinkers, strategists, and defenders. We do not yield to fear, and we do not surrender to oppression. Humanity endures and humanity prevails." The alien coalition, now in retreat, began to send envoys. The factions that had doubted Tivran's rigid leadership sought dialogue. Humanity had proven its worth. not only as a powerful force but as a species guided by courage, ingenuity, and moral clarity. On the observation deck of the Valor, Alara looked out at the stars, her mind heavy with reflection. The cost had been great, ships damaged, crews exhausted, but humanity had prevailed. They had survived the impossible, turned the tide of war, and earned the respect of the galaxy. Joran stood beside her. Captain, the galaxy will never forget what we've done. Humanity is no longer just a name, we are a symbol. But what now? The coalition is weakened but not gone. Alara's eyes shone with resolve. Now we build. We protect our colonies, strengthen our alliances, and ensure the galaxy knows that underestimating humans is a mistake they will never repeat. We have survived because we never gave up, because we adapted, and because we fought with honor. That is humanity's legacy. The humans moved forward, not as conquerors, but as guardians. They extended help to worlds ravaged by the war, shared knowledge and technology, and offered protection where it was needed. Their reputation as brave, clever, and morally strong spread throughout the galaxy. Humanity had not only survived, but reshaped the balance of power. Tivran, now forced into hiding, realized that his rigid adherence to the one rule had been a grave error. The species he had underestimated was not reckless, and it was extraordinary. One by one, alien leaders acknowledged the truth. Humans were not to be dismissed, feared, or controlled. They demanded respect and cooperation. Back on Earth, celebrations erupted. Humans across colonies and homeworlds cheered, not just for victory, but for the demonstration of what humanity could achieve when united and determined. The stories of courage, ingenuity, and survival inspired generations. Children grew up hearing tales of Captain Alara Kane and the fleet that had turned the galaxy's expectations upside down. Alara walked through the halls of the Valor, visiting her crew. She saw exhaustion and relief, pride and humility. Each person had played a part, and every success had been earned through teamwork and courage. Humans have shown what it means to be exceptional, she told them. Not because of power or technology, but because we think, adapt, and never surrender. That is our strength. That is our future. As the Valor left the last remnants of the Coalition's fleet behind, humanity looked to the stars, not with fear, but with curiosity and ambition. The galaxy had learned a vital lesson. Humans were not merely another species to be controlled or ignored. They were a force capable of shaping the stars, defining their own destiny, and inspiring hope wherever they went. In the silence of space, Alara reflected on the journey. The one rule had been broken and humanity had survived. They had faced impossible odds, outsmarted formidable enemies, and proven that courage, intelligence, and moral conviction could overcome even the greatest threats. Joran, she said softly. We have survived the impossible, but the stars are endless. Humanity's story is just beginning, Joran smiled. And when the galaxy watches us next, they will know that humans are unstoppable. They will know that courage, ingenuity, and heart can change the universe. Alara nodded. Yes. And they will never forget that underestimating humanity was their greatest mistake. The Valor and its fleet sailed into the vast expanse of space, ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. Humanity had burned brightly in the heart of war, survived the fiercest tests, and emerged stronger, wiser, and more respected than ever. The stars were no longer just a frontier to explore. They were a stage where humanity could shape its destiny, fearless and undaunted. The galaxy had witnessed the rise of humans. Their courage had burned brighter than any weapon. Their intelligence had outmatched the most disciplined fleets. Their spirit had inspired not only their own kind, but countless others across the stars. Humanity had survived the impossible, turned the tide of war, and proven that when humans fought, they fought not just to survive, but to prevail, with honor, ingenuity, and an unbreakable spirit. And so, the legend of humanity continued, shining among the stars, a symbol of courage, resilience, and the unyielding power of the human spirit.